ladies and gentlemen, we are now live with the first ever Great British Invitational Cup. Our players are ready, and it is time to begin. Let me just set the status as live on the Team Liquid thing. And we will be ready to go. The first series of the evening will not be Revolution versus Mix. It will be JonnyREcco versus MythiC. So, I shall now invite the players into party. I should probably invite everyone first, eh? Let's see, let's invite everyone. And then we'll tell them how everything's going down. So I hope you all enjoy the stream today. I certainly am looking forward to it. I have the Twitch chat open on my laptop, so I will be able to interact with chat. And this is my first ever StarCraft 2 event, so please do give whatever criticisms and improvements that you think is necessary. Mix just went AFK. Pardon me. So, as you guys all know, we are doing so sorry guys, I'm really bad at this whole streaming business. This is MythiC. So guys, hello. We are going to be playing 2 best of 5s and a best of 7 tonight. To inform you, and the first game is JonnyREcco versus MythiC. As you can see, hopefully see, yeah, it should be all there on the stream. Just informing the players now. And I hope you all enjoy the stream. I'm just TV/DarkWestGames is the stream. And we'll need to do map vetoes first. So there will be 2 vetoes. MythiC has declined my party invite. MythiC, why did you do that? MythiC! You... Join the party. I am watching Twitch chat, so if you have any chats, I will hopefully be able to interact with you all. And we'll need to do map vetoes first, as I said. So JonnyREcco, as the home player, gets to veto the first map. So let's ask him. Map first. Co is first. Sorry guys, it's slightly difficult to like talk on stream as well as like typing to the players in the chat, but you should be able to see what's all going on there. Hopefully that's big enough. JonnyREcco is first. If JonnyREcco is around, he will hopefully be able to veto his first map any second now. So, as I've said, we will be having 2 best of 5s and a best of 7 tonight in this tournament. It will be JonnyREcco versus MythiC as our first match, followed by Mix versus Revolution. And the first map veto is in. JonnyREcco has vetoed Inferno. Inferno Pools is vetoed. MythiC. And now MythiC will be vetoing the next map. And lucky for you, you get to see it all live there. I guess I can go to this screen so you can see easier what all our players are saying regarding vetoes, etc, etc, etc. The map pool is a Season 2 map pool, which has just been updated the other day. So that is Coda, Echo, Expedition Lost, Vani Research Station, Cactus Valley, Infernal Pools, and Iron Fortress, although Infernal Pools has been vetoed. Okay, MythiC vetoes Coda, which is the second veto of tonight. So Infernal Pools and Coda are off the table. Just chatting to my clanmates as well, I'll tell them to check out the stream. And now waiting for the second map pick, or the first map pick of the night, I suppose. In our first best of 5 between JonnyREcco and MythiC. Just waiting. Sorry this is taking so long, guys. I never thought... What's cooking? Never thought that map picks would take so long, to be honest. But yeah, it is a Season 2 map pool, so a lot of these players won't have really played much of the current map pool. And it looks like the first veto is in. Iron Fortress is the first map we'll be playing tonight. That map that was played so rarely on GSL is going to be the first map we cast tonight. Hello Venom Euro. And draw for me Biatch. Again, continuing on with the map veto process, or the map. The Wing? The Wing. I don't think that's in the map pool anymore, mate. Yeah. Vetoes and picks. Season 2 map pools, guys, so fortunately Deadwing isn't an option. Ah, right, okay, fair enough. Season 2 map pool. So, Deadwing isn't there. As far as I can tell, I don't see Deadwing in this list here. I don't know if anyone else sees it, but I certainly don't. Now that we've cleared up any problems regarding the map pool, we'll see what goes on next. He must have known that, because it's like, he says Coda. He vetoed Coda just before. Anyway, hoping to get the map veto process out of the way as quickly as possible for our first, so we can organize our first match tonight. And get on with it as soon as possible. What's your pick? Jeez. Taking slightly longer than I expected, honestly. First pick, Expedition Lost. Okay. Your second pick. Jeez, if I had known this was going to take so long, I probably would have done it before the games really started, but again, first tournament, guys, all hand up. Hands up, that's my fault. Cactus Valley will be the third map of tonight. Yeah, that's right. and let's see. The final map pick, MythiC, your pick. So he has a choice of Echo and Vani Research Station, whichever one isn't picked next. Okay, Vani Research Station will be our 4th map, and if we need it, Echo will be the final map. Games B. Right. Iron Fortress. And then Iron Fortress is our first map tonight, and then we have Expedition Lost, Cactus Valley, Vani Research Station, and then Echo. And I will just remove you from the party, and we will jump into our first match on Iron Fortress. Create as party. I'll just double check my observer interface is set up correctly. I was messing around with it last night, and yes, it is. Turn to game. Right. How do I set myself as an observer, guys? 1v1. Okay. Right, there we go. And we will now be diving into our first map. I'll set myself as a referee. GLHF, everyone, we are diving into our first map of the night. Iron Fortress Ladder Edition. I should probably have copied and pasted this, eh? Copy. Hopefully the stream's going okay, everyone. Hopefully volume's okay and everything. And not much lag. I believe I'm streaming at 720p. I think. Should maybe have checked before I started. I thought I did check, but maybe not. Anyway, I get the upload speeds to do it anyway. So, guys, spawning in the bottom right position of Iron Fortress Ladder Edition, playing for Red Bloods Academy, in the purple, it's MythiC. And spawning up to the top right hand position of Iron Fortress, currently teamless, from Scotland, JonnyREcco. Both players starting off fairly standard, no major cheeses going on just yet, wishing each other good luck. Overlord scout in the correct direction, always nice to know where your player is right at the start. And this is one of the maps made for GSL last year, I believe. It was included in the Season 2 map pool by Blizzard. Hopefully it'll get more playtime in the WCS system this year than it has done in the GSL the other last season, because let me tell you, I think there was about 3 maps in total played on Iron Fortress in the GSL. Places down in Barracks on 14, or 12 rather, looking at their own player there. Both players playing fairly standard again, no major cheeses. And JonnyREcco moving out to take his natural base, 15 hatch. Again, a standard timing to go hatch first. And a gas coming down here for MythiC. Could be looking to get a Reaper out. As the Overlord goes and scouts the upper position, not that it will be necessary, as any minute now JonnyREcco will discover that his opponent has in fact spawned down here. Spawning pool now down for JonnyREcco, so not an insanely greedy build by him by any stretch of the imagination, just a nice, safe, relatively safe build here. And yeah, the Reaper is on the way and it's gonna do a bit of harassment as the SCV scouts and places down a bunker. The SCV placing down a bunker in the natural base of JonnyREcco, so it looks like a bit of cheese could be going on here. Does JonnyREcco see the bunker? He does not see the bunker until that hatchery completes. That's going to be a nasty surprise for him, especially with this Reaper on the way. JonnyREcco has played fairly well recently. I know for a fact that he has made it to... He was very, very close to reaching the WCS Challenger last night, in fact, falling at the final hurdle to Bly in a 2-1 defeat. The Reaper in the drone line, not getting many kills, I don't believe. No kills yet. There are Zerglings out as JonnyREcco takes his second gas there. Couple more Zerglings out, very close to picking one of those Zerglings off, but doesn't quite manage to get it there. The Queens are on the way. The first Queen is out, second one is also out. The Reaper's going to be quite trapped there if that Queen can get to it, but not quite. Another Reaper out. Bunker now under siege by that Queen there, as the Reapers jump into the main base again to try and take out that Queen there. Not going to be successful with that, as that Reaper almost dead, just escaping. Neither Reaper having any kills so far, not exactly superbly successful. That's going to want to be salvaged soon, or no, doesn't quite get the salvage, and the bunker is lost. That's 75 minerals down the drain for MythiC there. 3 Reapers now out, but JonnyREcco doing a good job of keeping a hold of this early aggression. Only a single kill so far, as the starport is on the way at home. A sole Reaper now surviving, and it's going to be picked off by that Queen quite nicely. Oh, not quite. The Reaper does manage to escape just. The Reaper with a single kill, but those Zerglings are going to handle him no problem at all, and the Zerglings now moving across the map. Hellions on the way at home for MythiC. Very nicely held off there by JonnyREcco. And Zerglings now at the natural base of MythiC. Into the main, in fact, picks off a Marine there just about. Only 2 remaining now. Those Hellions going to be more than enough to handle those, as the third hatchery, as the third command center even is on the way for the Terran player. JonnyREcco still on only 2 bases, though with full gases on both bases almost, at least. Does finally get that gas there that he tried to take, that he didn't end up taking earlier. And some defense on the way now for JonnyREcco to move with those Hellions out on the map. There is a Banshee on the way. MythiC looking not likely to leave up his aggression anytime soon. JonnyREcco not feeling confident enough to expand just yet. And as you can see, there are Hellions moving across the map. Baneling Nest on the way now for JonnyREcco, but won't be out quickly enough to deal with those Hellions if they go in. Though there is enough Queens and Spinecrawlers and Zerglings probably alone to keep him off. Scan goes down in the main and sees the layer morphing in. Not much else seen there. Spinecrawler rooting right at the edge as JonnyREcco looks to slowly push out to take his third base. Back at home there is a third orbital command down there for the Terran player, as well as a Banshee on the way there. Bunch of Hellions just chilling out outside the base there. Off JonnyREcco, the Spinecrawler and the Queens pushing forward there. Nice big number of Queens for JonnyREcco, as the Hellions begin to back off, chasing that Zergling. And the third base finally coming down for JonnyREcco, despite the fact that the third base is ahead now for MythiC. He did not really take advantage of that too much, not placing down any Banshees now, not placing it down at a place to actually make use of it. Banshee's moving into the main base of JonnyREcco. There is a single queen there to deal with that, and there are Mutalisks on the way. I missed that. I missed the Mutalisk Spire building. It's disappointing. Hellions moving back across the map as the Banshees back off. There are turrets in both bases of MythiC, so those aren't going to do much. Those Mutalisks aren't going to do much in terms of harassment for the Terran player, or for the Zerg player rather. And double Evo Chamber coming down for JonnyREcco as both players look to take this game out long. Not going to be managing to take that base anytime soon, with the Overlords peeking out some creep over that. Mutalisks did try to poke in, but again with the bunch of Marines here and the missile turret, they're not going to get much done at all. Fourth base now coming in for JonnyREcco. As that Overlord is still there. You can just about see him underneath that hatchery there. Looks almost like the hatchery's puking out the thing there, but there goes that Overlord. Poor dead Overlord as the Mutalisks move in, picking off a Viking there. A single Viking isn't going to do much against that many Mutalisks, I'll tell you that much. Back at home. Upgrades coming down. Lots of upgrades for JonnyREcco as he looks to take out the game slightly longer. Though the same could be said for our Terran player as he does have double engineering bay. Some good creep spread coming here for the Zerg player. Always nice to have that creep spread as a fourth base comes in. Mutalisk still looking for angles to attack, but with that many missile turrets in all his bases, not going to do much. Though those Hellbats could be vulnerable as if they're not accompanied by those Marines, admittedly. Big ball of Zerglings building up here. Just looking to secure the fourth hatchery without too much opposition from the Terran player. Banshee moving across there. Big Terran force building up here now. Army supply is in favour of the Zerg, however, by a not insignificant margin, as well as the worker supply lead. I remember now, you can also see those down there. And JonnyREcco does have a 20 supply lead over the Terran player. Though the Banshee is moving in slowly, going the very long way around, trying to take out this base. And this base is fairly undefended, while the natural and the main do have spore crawlers. The third and fourth base aren't so lucky as Mutalisks move in here, picking off a refinery. Though with that missile turret there, they're not going to be able to get too far into the main base. The main mineral line rather. It's not really the main mineral line, is it? It's a natural mineral line. Banshee just chilling out at the top of the map there for the Terran player. Doesn't have any kills just yet, so it's not been a terribly great investment. Spine crawlers are building, though they're not going to do much good against that Banshee if it decides to come into this base. As Mutalisks ravage that natural there. Another missile turret coming down after the Mutalisks pick that last one off, and there is a big swarm of Zerglings moving down here, as well as the Mutalisks back there. Looking to be the potential for a secret attack using these pathways. Not walled off by the Terran, so those Zerglings could quite easily sweep in there, especially with the army moving out of position from that base. Drop coming in now by the third base of the third player. Manages to pick up, do a decent amount of damage, though with these spine crawlers here it's not going to do too much good. Big push now coming from MythiC. Bunch of Marines, medevacs, as well as those Zergling murdering machines are held at. Some good Baneling hits there as JonnyREcco looks to eliminate this army before it gets close to his base. But he is pushed back. The army supply lead is in the Terran's favour right now, though the worker supply lead still is in JonnyREcco's favour. As you can see there, Mutalisks coming in here. They're not going to do much good with that mounds of mines coming in there. Baneling's rolling down and taking out a good chunk of that army there. Though the army supply lead still is in favour of the Terran, so maybe not for long with that Baneling hits. And that's murdering MythiC's army by JonnyREcco there. Great Baneling hits as the army supply advantage of MythiC is completely eliminated, giving JonnyREcco a good 30 plus supply lead in terms of army supply. Though he is still pushing across with fours that are going to do really good against those Mutalisks. Only a single 4 against 14 Mutalisks, but still good enough to pick out a decent number of them. More Banelings morphing in as those the Banelings that still exist goes ham on that 4 there, taking it out, no problem at all. Those Mutalisks free to roam without any hassle with those massive mech units coming to eliminate them. Meanwhile, there is a counterattack down by the third base of the Terran player that looks to have been very successful, as now the Zerg player is completely tearing up this Terran army. A massive supply lead at 2.5 times, or 1.5 times, should I say, of the Terran player's army supply. Now more than doubling it, as that third base is forfeit, and so is not quite that natural, though there was an attack there soon. Better repair that supply depot, don't want that eliminated. But the Zerg players just relentlessly pushing across the map. JonnyREcco is going to take this without any trouble at all, with more than doubling the army supply off. And GG! Decrease gameplay. Let me just decrease the game volume a tad. Drop it down to 10%. Thank you, chat, for... Yeah, I know the sound of my microphone is quite low. Don't know why. I've put everything, as far as I'm aware, to maximum. Okay, cool. Next game. I will load up the next game, the next match. JonnyREcco 1-0 ahead. Oh, I forgot to set up the score tabs on that, didn't I? I'll need to do that here for Expedition Lost, which will be our second map of the night. With JonnyREcco 1 game up against MythiC, the Terran player. Okay, let me just sort that out again. I don't want to play MythiC. That's not going to end well for me at all. JonnyREcco, you need to sort your race out. JonnyREcco. And we should soon be jumping into the second map of this best of 5 series. There we go. I'll need to set myself to a referee. And everyone's ready. Let's go. Into Expedition Lost, the second map of this best of 5 series. And I'm going to try to remember to put up the score tabs this time. Something I forgot to do in the last match, though, since it was 0-0 in the first match of the series. I suppose that doesn't matter too much, does it? Do tell... I have reduced the volume off the game by a bit. Do tell me, chat, if you need me to reduce it a bit more. Oh. No, not sound. Control Shift Score. Shift. Oh, Control Shift 5. Control Shift 1. There we go. Spawning in the top right position. Spawning in the top right position of Expedition Lost. In pink, our Scottish Zerg, 1-0 up in this best of 5 series. JonnyREcco. Just change that to 5. Oh shit, that's not good. Oh. There we go. And spawning in the bottom left position of Expedition Lost, in purple, playing for Team Red Bloods Academy, it is MythiC. Again, both players going for relatively standard builds so far, no big major cheeses as of yet at any rate, and this is a 2-player map only, so no worries about scouting in the wrong direction. As you can see, the Overlord going straight through the middle of the map to try to get to the opposing base, as the barracks does go down on 12 again. Going to be another Reaper play out of MythiC here. Hopefully going to get more done than in the last game, because that was rather unsuccessful, as the hatchery comes down on 15 for JonnyREcco. Both players playing the same as in the last game of this series so far, as gas does complete for MythiC, as he almost forgot to put the production tab up. And 2 Overlords moving across the map, going to slightly different positions, as the spawning pool is now on the way for JonnyREcco. There's a gap in that wall off, or I guess it's for the reactor. And the Reaper is on the way, as you can see from the barracks. We'll need to see if JonnyREcco can hold off as good a defense as he did in the last game, as JonnyREcco does now get down his first gas geyser off the game. And that is going to be, the Reaper there is going to be scouted by JonnyREcco, as the spawning pool just about completes. And 4 Zerglings immediately on the way, as well as 6 Zerglings in fact, as well as 2 Queens. I'm going to be hoping to hold off this push without too much trouble. Need to see if... Doesn't look like there's going to be another bunker coming in like in the last game, as the Reaper moves up to the main base of JonnyREcco. But the Zerglings are already out down there. No workers yet at the natural base, so that's not going to do much use for the Terran player going down there. Zerglings should be enough to take care of that Reaper, which still hasn't got any kills. And it looks like MythiC isn't going to be as committed to this Reaper push as he was in the last game. Just a single Reaper into Marines instead of the 3 he put out, the 3 in a bunker he put out in the last game. Less risk of going behind this way, I suppose, because he was left quite far behind when he didn't even remember to salvage a bunker in time. And a single gas with a single worker mining for it for JonnyREcco. Zerg is not a very gas heavy race, as I'm sure you are aware, as a second command center does complete for the Terran player, built on site this time, unlike in the previous game, I think. Zerglings moving up to scare away that Reaper there. Didn't get much done at all. No kills. Not a very useful Reaper if you ask me. And there is a starport coming down for the Terran player, similar to the last game. Zergling speed almost complete from the jiggly spawning pool right there. The third on this map is relatively isolated from the natural base of both players. Admittedly, that is true of the last map, Iron Fortress, as well. Imagine that, the map that was not played barely at all in GSL is played as the very first match of the Great British Invitational Cup. And a bunch of Hellions now out, again similar to the last game for MythiC, as a Zergling claims a Zelnaga watchtower. Moves away now, as those Zerglings spot the Hellions moving out there. Need to see how this is held off by JonnyREcco. It should be fairly easy with the Spinecrawler there and the several Queens that can come in and support off him there. Moving up to the third base, sees nothing there. as a medevac full of Marines, as well as 2 more of the Hellions move across the map. Not looking to put on any real pressure at this point, just feeling out the opponent. Spire does come down again for JonnyREcco, same as the last game where he went for Mutalisks. Though this time I do not believe there is any mineral turrets in the main base or natural of the Zerg player. And the Hellions get into the mineral line as those drones are going to need to be killed. Be careful not to line them up. That spike roller not enough to fend off those Hellions this time. The Zerglings going in, killing off a lot of those Hellions, but that's still a lot of damage done by those Hellions there. So workers killed. I don't know the tab. I'm sorry, guys. Someone in chat tell me what the hotkey is to see that. I have brain dirt. Zerglings moving across to counter-attack here, but not going to do much with that wall off there. Third base coming down for JonnyREcco now, as there is now an engineering bay, rather, double engineering bay for the Terran player. Does not have any turrets just yet, which he might want to put down considering the Mutalisks are now on their way. I believe he is completely unaware of the Spire's existence. Indeed, he has no idea the Spire's on the way. That could do some big damage if it's not preemptively building any turrets there. Yeah, that's 12 workers killed by those that Hellion run by. Thank you to Odjamal. Thank you. I need to turn down game sound apparently. Floating around the orbital command. Let me just turn down game sound quickly. Hopefully that's better for you guys. So unprofessional. The game sound on your stream is too loud, pal. Messaging me my fellow clanmate Maximus. Distracted me from streaming. But yeah, the volume is down now. I've put it down a bit more. Tell me if it's still too loud. Doesn't help, the volume of my microphone seems to be whack for some reason. Big force of Zerg pushing in now. Army supply lead is in the Zerg's favor by quite a margin. Medevac so close to being picked off, though it just manages to survive there. Those Zerglings gonna clear out that mineral line, no problem. Workers killed not quite enough to balance the books here. Still 4 times as many workers killed by MythiC as by JonnyREcco, though the elimination of that turret could spell bad news for this base with the Mutalisks swarming in. The Marines coming to save the day, driving off those Mutalisks. Worker supply lead is in favor of the Terran player at the moment, though the Zerg has a massive army supply lead as that bunker is so close to being picked off, and indeed it falls despite the best efforts of those workers. And still tons more Zerglings swarming across the map, Banelings morphing in. Okay, good. Seems the sound's fixed. Terran's Bioforce pushing, trying to hold strong against the Zerg swarm, but it's not looking too good at the moment. But really, this is a pretty all-in-ish position for JonnyREcco if he commits too much further. He does have he is way behind in terms of, well, not as way behind now, I suppose, with this third base basically neutralized for the Terran player. MythiC still just about holding on to his worker lead, though the army supply is now basically reset. But the Zerg, JonnyREcco is not giving up just yet, with a huge number of Banelings morphing in right there outside the base as the Mutalisks swing into the main to look to get as much damage as they can do for free without eliminating those missile turrets. Marines backing up into the main base. Still this big force of Zerg right there outside the base, swarming up into the third base, which is not long to live, I fear. The workers not targeted yet, targeted now. The third command center completely eliminated, as the worker supply lead is now way back in, as the workers killed rather, is way back into the favor of the Zerg player, as it should be. Now doubling it, completely eliminating the importance of that Hellion run by earlier. Just a random command center being built here, likely to be turned in, potentially to be turned into a planetary fortress, help fend off this Zerg force as the Mutalisks swarm in again, hoping to pick off the reactor. Not quite finishing it off. Not far though, it is burning. He'll need to send someone to repair that or it will die. Mutalisks still sweeping in. Sees that command center being built as the Zerglings and Banelings are around over there on the near the third base location. The lonely third base still being mined from by a couple of SCVs. Bunkers still left there, though not for long if JonnyREcco has anything to do with it. Medevac full of mines coming up the side there. That could be do some big damage here. Though JonnyREcco now having a massive worker supply lead. It's not looking good at all for our Terran player. Unfortunately for all you Terrans fans out there, and this is in fact the only Terran in the tournament. Turns out British players quite like Zerg. And so close, and the command center's picked off. Doesn't get the cancel there as the Mutalisks deal the final blow that kills it off. Medevac's dropped off mines over here. Single mine there doing its work. Still 3 mining bases up fine for JonnyREcco, the third base of the Terran just now being re-established. But a big force of Terran now marching across. Could this be the push that levels the map for him? Possibly, possibly not. He does have a massive army supply lead now, but we all know the legendary Zergling remaxes that can come out of Zergs. And there are 22 Zerglings in production as well as Mutalisks. The Terran marches into the third base, splitting well against these Banelings. Quite level fight so far, but the Terran is being pushed back. He just can't fight against this massive Zergling swarm, though he is remaxing back at home. Unfortunately, Defender's advantage means he is going to have to withdraw at this point, and with that many Mutalisks chasing those medevacs, it's not going to end well for those medevacs, I'm telling you that much. Small force of Terran bio here, aided by some Widow Mines, forcing the Zerg force back. This third base is finally re-established for the Terran player, but the fourth base is almost complete for the Zerg. JonnyREcco's Linear Bane play really is good today. I have to say JonnyREcco has always been a favourite for this series, especially given his performance in WCS last night, but even so, this has so far been a really quite one-sided affair. Terran player never looking much to threaten, though there is now a drop coming in the main base. A mine burrowing there at the edge, gonna just survive that it kills a bunch of the workers in the main base. Another mine coming down there, not gonna do much. Overseer spots it immediately, and those Zerglings clear that up without too much of a trouble at all. Workers killed back in favour of MythiC thanks to those drops, but the supply lead is still very close, and with those 2 extra bases for the Zerg player. Another Terran force marching across here. Does have a quite significant army supply lead at this point, though the Zerg is building more and more forces here. Hopefully there's not really any drops in this stream. I've been suffering some internet problems. I think I've fixed them. Hint, buy high quality wires, they interfere with your Wi-Fi. And that 4 isn't going to do much. Single 4 against that many Mutalisks, as the Terran looks to be on his death row. His entire army there pretty much obliterated, though he does still hold us not insignificant force compared to the size of the Zerg army. As you can see here, really, there's not much. 22 Marines, 18 against 18 Zerglings and 16 Mutalisks. More Mutalisks in production. The Zerg happy to take this easy on 5 bases, 5 mining bases against a single 2 mining bases for the Terran player. 40 minerals left in his main base. We have broke 60 workers, people. Spine crawlers coming in there. 60 watchers, people. I think I said 60 workers. Spine crawler coming in there in the 4th base. Good to fend off drops for the Terran players. Doubtlessly gonna keep trying to push with. Has rebuilt his army somewhat now. The Zerg not quite able to finish the battle yet. 4th base now coming in for MythiC, much needed considering he's on essentially 2 mining bases against 4 or 5 for the Zerg. But that's a big ball of Zerg right outside the base, and it's gonna sweep straight in on this base from all sides. Those Mutalisks coming in, not gonna. That bio isn't gonna do much good against this much Zerg. I'm telling you that much. Look at those Zerglings coming in there. Surrounding split's not good enough to deal with those banelings. Those mines completely slaughtered, and lifting your buildings isn't gonna do much good against Mutalisks. Those mines could still be the saving grace of the Terran, though. A few good shots on those Mutalisks could really level the score, but it's not looking likely at this point. As the Zerg close to doubling the army supply off the Terran player. Under 70 supply now for MythiC. Though still manages to just about hold on at this stage. Infestation pick now coming in for JonnyREcco, as he looks to transition out of this style of Flame Mutabane that he's been sticking to so fervently for the past 25 minutes of this game. But he's not quite out of it yet, still morphing in a bunch more banelings. He senses blood. Mutalisks just chilling outside this 3rd base that they've already killed several times. Main force of the Zerglings backing off now, but the Mutalisks are going in, taking out the bunker. And not quite able to get too much more done, given that turret there doing quite a lot of work. And at least scaring off the Mutalisks, if not quite killing them. Bunker trying to be rebuilt, but that's not going to work. Manages to cancel that. And still the army supply for JonnyREcco doubles that off the Terran player here, as well as the worker supply more than doubled. Huge force of Zerglings now moving down here for JonnyREcco, into who's almost maxed out compared to MythiC, who is under 100 supply. Barracks picked off by the Mutalisks. And the Zerglings sweep into this 3rd base location, not able to get the command center. Terran flying buildings and all that, but still doing a great deal of damage there. Neutralizing this as a mining base for the Terran player. Mutalisks trying to scare off that Marines, not quite doing enough, but those Zerglings, oh, the mines don't do much at all. And this is going to be GG for the Terran, as there are Zerglings in the main base, tearing on to one base and one base alone, as these Zerglings are running rampage in the main base of JonnyREcco, of MythiC rather. JonnyREcco's Zerglings just too much for MythiC. That drop not going to do much. GG! As JonnyREcco takes a match. Or the game, the map. Still one more map in this best of 5 series. Between JonnyREcco and MythiC. Okay. Cactus Valley is our next map. And it's our potentially final map of this series. Potentially final map of this series, as it looks. As JonnyREcco is going to look to take out our only Terran challenger in this game. Feel free to tweet us, by the way, guys, at GBICSZ2. That's our hashtag. for the event. Let's go back to 1v1. Oh, God's sake. And there we go. Almost ready to load up this map. I will be checking the Twitter feed at the break after this map. And let's go. We are loading into Cactus Valley, the third and potentially final map of this best of 5 series between JonnyREcco and MythiC. Cactus Valley, one of the new maps in the Season 3, or the Season 2 rather, map pool. A 4-player map. I've not played too much on it. I've not done that much ladder since the map pool have changed. Is that Widow mine because of the friendly fire damage? What? I'm not sure what you mean. Okay. Guys spawning in the bottom left position, bottom right position rather, of Cactus Valley Ladder Edition. In purple, his potentially final map of this series, playing for Red Blood's Academy. It's MythiC. And spawning to the bottom left of Cactus Valley Ladder Edition, currently teamless from Scotland, 2-0 up in this best of 5 series. It's JonnyREcco. Players playing again fairly standard, no massive cheeses, no 6 pools, no proxy racks just yet. Or has Zerg and Toss Widows? I'm not sure what you mean, Ogamal. Unfortunately for JonnyREcco, he has scouted in the wrong direction this time. But it's okay, he won't be too much late thanks to the Zerg being able to send several overlords in several different directions. Barracks coming down for MythiC as he looks to do the same build as he has done the last several games, and it looks like the same's coming out of JonnyREcco as he puts down a as he puts down a 15 pool. Thought that said 14 pool for a second there, but 14 pool, 14 hatch, 15 hatch. What am I saying? Losing my mind. And JonnyREcco will be somewhat disappointed to discover that his opponent is not in fact up at this position. It'll be fine as he scouts him fairly quickly as soon thereafter with this overlord here. Reaper is indeed on the way. Wrong score. Oh shit, yeah. Thank you. JonnyREcco was at the bottom last time. Thank you, stay 1988. Missed that. Assumed the players would be in the same position as last time. And JonnyREcco does now know that his opponent is not in fact up at that position. And MythiC looking to take a fast second command center here. As the Reaper moves across the map in the right direction. Generally, Terrans are able, playing versus Zerg, are able to tell through the Overlord timings. If he's seen that Overlord, I'm not sure if he actually has or not, or if he's just lucky. And let's see, there is no Zerglings out just yet for the Zerg player, but there are now. Reaper still not looking to be much more successful than in the past games. And again, this time, no, unlike the first game, no big multis. Oh, the Reaper gets a kill! I think that's the first time in this entire series that one of MythIC's Reapers have gotten a kill. Or he might have gotten like 1 kill when he sent 3 Reapers across the map last time. Factory on the way. So Reaper moves down into the natural base. Not getting much done there either. Still only on that single kill. 2 Marines. Moving out to scout for Overlords, probably. If I had to guess. And the Reaper is going to be pushed away without getting too much more with those Queens and Zerglings now out. The second Queen now coming down. For the Zerg player. Marines just on patrol there, hoping to fend off against any aggression, early aggression from JonnyREcco. He does like sometimes to send Zerglings across the map after being pushed by the Terran player with Reapers early on. But it looks now to be our first deviation off the match, off the series, as JonnyREcco puts down a Roach Warren. I can't go on to it because it's right at the edge of the map, but it's definitely there. Puts down the Roach Warren as he looks to push forward early with Roaches against the Terran player to seal the series and his ticket to the grand final. This is a winners take all tournament, guys, so if you don't win, you don't get anything other than getting to play some fun games for my loyal viewers on stream. Roaches, 10 roaches now on the way for JonnyREcco, and this has gone unscouted by the Terran player so far, at least. Zerglings following this up, and the Hellions good against Zerglings, not so much against roaches. As the roaches move across a slightly longer route than maybe going this way, but it does mean they're going to be less likely to be scouted, which is always nice. Big push of roaches across the map. This could be devastating for the Terran player if he is not prepared. He does have a wall off, but no bunkers. No bunkers. He's going to need bunkers if he's going to deal with this, but all his units are on the other side of the map. This could be a perfect time to push for JonnyREcco. All the units are on the other side of the map. Those bunkers aren't good. Those supply depot wall isn't going to last long. As the roaches look to move up into the main base here, the Terran player pushing forward regardless with Hellbats. So much going on. Roaches now pushing into the main base off the Terran player, but these Hellions are really causing havoc to the Zerg. So many workers killed. But is it going to matter with this many roaches on the other side of the map? Well, if he can get out that Banshee, it's going to matter a hell of a lot, because those roaches can't shoot upwards. Is MythiC going to win a game? JonnyREcco. Oh, but there's no workers. There's no workers for MythiC. It's all or nothing for him now. But there's those Hellbats could slaughter that drone line. But without anti-air, how is JonnyREcco going to deal with that Banshee that should be out somewhere? Get a Banshee chasing down those roaches. But two SCVs. This is all in. This is completely all in for MythiC. If he doesn't win this now, if he isn't able to eliminate this, he is out of the tournament altogether and will go home with nothing. But he could still win this. He could still win this, but maybe not. Those drones are back to mining in the main base. That Dignitas Bling is online. He's playing in the Gfinity qualifiers. He wasn't able to come to my tournament today, apparently because of dodgy internet. Unfortunately for him, his internet went out. And it looks like the entire army of MythiC has been eradicated. He is on 4 supply, and MythiC is out of this tournament altogether at this point. GG, well played! JonnyREcco takes the series.